There's a kind of tired that's hard to explain, not the tired from staying up too late, not the tired from working too hard yesterday. It's the kind of tired that sits deep inside you, like you woke up carrying an invisible weight. You open your eyes, stare at the ceiling, and for a few seconds you wish you didn't have to get up yet. Not because you're lazy, because your body doesn't feel ready to exist for another full day. If you've ever woken up like that, stay with me and hit like and subscribe in a way that feels natural. Not because what comes next is useful, but because this might be the first time your exhaustion doesn't get blamed on you. And what's strange is how quickly this feeling starts to feel normal. When you sleep enough and still feel tired, the first thing you do is judge yourself. You reach for heavy labels: lazy, weak, undisciplined, unmotivated. Other people add to the verdict: sleep earlier, try harder, drink less coffee, live healthier. You've heard it all. You've tried it all. And every time nothing changes, you trust yourself a little less. The hardest part isn't the tiredness itself. It's the feeling that you're failing at something that should be basic. Waking up. You start dreading mornings before they arrive. You negotiate with your alarm like it's an enemy, and the entire time, your body isn't betraying you. It's communicating something you were never taught to listen to. Here's the truth that changes how you hear that message. You don't start your day when your alarm goes off. You start it much earlier, with how you lived yesterday, with how you ate, how you reacted, how stimulated you stayed, and how you finally stopped. Your body doesn't respond to effort. It responds to signals, and modern life is very good at sending signals at the wrong time. You think you're living normally, but you're living inside a system that quietly pulls you out of rhythm. The cost doesn't show up immediately. It shows up 8 hours later, when you wake up feeling like sleep didn't give you back what you paid for. The system behind this isn't mystical. It isn't motivation or mindset. It's your circadian rhythm, a biological clock that controls hormones, body temperature, alertness, digestion, and mood. This clock doesn't care about your goals. It cares about what you tell it. Light says day, darkness says night, food says activity, stillness says rest. When those signals get scrambled, your body doesn't rebel, it adapts. And the price of that adaptation is a quiet, persistent exhaustion that doesn't shout, but doesn't leave either. That's why so many sleep tips fail. They try to fix the outcome without fixing the signals underneath. And once you see that, the question stops being, why am I so tired? It becomes, what rhythm am I training my body to follow? Habit 1, light before screens. Most people wake up and reach for their phone like a reflex, not because they're addicted, because the world has trained them to believe that everything important lives inside that screen. Messages, work, news, schedules. In the first few seconds of the day, you've already stepped into other people's demands, pressure, and pace. You think you're starting your day, but you're taking over someone else's day, and then you wonder why your energy always feels like something you chase, instead of something that leads you. Your brain doesn't read clocks, it reads light. Morning sunlight is the strongest signal your body has to turn the system on properly. When that light hits your eyes, cortisol rises like a biological alarm bell, clean and steady, not panicked. Melatonin backs away. Your body understands it's time to be awake. But screen light paired with notifications triggers vigilance. You wake up and immediately enter defense mode. And when you start your day in defense mode, you spend energy just trying to stay stable. Meanwhile, your body doesn't need to be pushed. It needs to be awakened. And if you are always waking up in defense mode, you will feel tired even on days when nothing terrible happens, because your body has already spent your first payment of energy before the day even begins. The trap is the phrase, "I'm just checking for a minute." A minute in the morning never stays a minute. It sets the tone for everything that follows. When you open your eyes and immediately react, you teach your nervous system that a new day is something to manage, not something to inhabit, and that rushed feeling doesn't disappear after 10 minutes. It follows you into noon, into the afternoon, into the moment you lie down again. You think you're saving time. You're actually borrowing your own energy at a brutal interest rate. You also lose something subtler. You lose the feeling that your morning belongs to you. And when your morning does not belong to you, your mind stays slightly resentful all day. The solution is so small, you'll want to doubt it. For the first 10 minutes, prioritize touching the real world first. Stand near a window, open a door, step onto a balcony. Let light reach your eyes and air reach your skin. No meditation required, no ritual required. Just one clear signal. It's day, and make it a rule, not a suggestion. I don't touch my phone until I've touched the real world first. You don't wake up into life, you wake up with it, and that one change alone can tilt your entire day in a different direction. It is also the first time in the day you prove to yourself that you can choose, that you are not only reacting, that you are leading. Even if you do morning light correctly, many people still wake up heavy. That isn't a contradiction. Morning rhythm opens the door. It doesn't clean the room. If your body enters the night still busy, still working, still digesting, you carry the echo of that night shift into the next morning. And this is the part most people never see. Your body recovers when it's free, not only when it's asleep. Sleep is not just time, it is conditions. Habit 2. Eat earlier than you think. There's a very specific kind of tired. You sleep a long time, but you wake up with a heavy stomach, a foggy head, a body that feels covered in mist. You blame stress. You blame screens. But a lot of the time, the culprit is dinner. Late dinner wears a dangerous disguise. It's called a reward. After a long day, you think you deserve to eat comfortably. But if you're still digesting while you sleep, your body can't fully shift into deep repair. You lie still, but inside, it's still working. And the cruel part is that you might not even feel it. You just wake up feeling like sleep did not count. Deep sleep doesn't like multitasking. When you eat, especially when you eat a lot or eat sugar, your core temperature rises, insulin rises, and your heart rate stays higher than normal. Those signals tell your nervous system the day isn't over yet. But to go into deep sleep, your body needs the opposite. Cooler, stable, quiet. That's why you can sleep enough hours and still miss the quality. You don't notice it at night because you're still asleep. You notice it in the morning, when your body hands you the bill as a heaviness you can't name. And it can show up as mood, too. Not just low energy, but low patience. You wake up with a thinner emotional buffer, like your nervous system never truly powered down. The second trap is using food to fight exhaustion. You eat late because you're depleted, and you're more depleted because you eat late. The loop is sneaky because it wears the costume of self-care. You think you're being kind to yourself, but you're making your body work overtime right when it needs to power down. And because no one taught you the mechanism, you assume you're the problem. You blame your character for something that should have been taught as basic biology. The truth is, you were trying to comfort yourself, and your body was trying to recover. You were not wrong for needing comfort. You were just aiming it at the wrong hour. You don't need a strict diet. You need timing that makes your body free at the right hour. Try moving dinner about 3 hours earlier than your bedtime. Make it a little lighter. Something strange will happen. Sleepiness arrives naturally, slowly, softly, like a gentle slope instead of a crash. There's a word for this. Eating with rhythm, not with emotion. And remember one sentence. Don't go to bed with a body that's still busy. When your body is free at night, it stops arguing with sleep. It starts cooperating with it. Even if you eat earlier and your body feels lighter, you might still struggle to fall asleep. And that's because you might be confusing relaxation with reduced stimulation. Your body doesn't care whether you like something. It cares how stimulated you are. You can laugh at a video and your nervous system still reads it as daytime. You can sit still while your brain is sprinting. You think you're slowing down. You're actually holding a high speed in silence. Habit 3, slow the night before. A lot of people's nights are loud, even when there's no sound. Bright light, heavy content, constant emotional switching. You say you're unwinding, but you're wrapping stimulation in comfortable packaging. Then you're surprised your brain won't shut off. You're asking your body to enter sleep while you're still feeding it daytime signals. Without a sunset, your system doesn't know how to descend. And when you remove sunset long enough, your body stops trusting night as a place to let go. It stays half awake, just in case. Sleep isn't a switch. It's a landing, layer by layer, beat by beat. When you don't build a runway, you crash into sleep through exhaustion. And sleeping through exhaustion isn't deep sleep. It's a blackout. The next morning, you wake up without feeling restored. Not because you didn't sleep, because you never truly moved through the process of slowing down. That is why you can wake up with a weird inner tension, like your body never got the message that it was safe to fully turn off. The third trap is using stimulation to avoid stillness. Stillness forces you to meet yourself, and that isn't easy. So you open one more thing, watch one more clip, scroll one more inch. You call it relaxation. Your body calls it activity. And when you avoid stillness long enough, you avoid deep sleep with it. What you need isn't another thing to consume. It's fewer things so your mind can finally release. And this matters because the version of you that wakes up clear is usually built the night before. In the moments you choose softness instead of input. Set a soft boundary for the evening, like 9 p.m. Not a harsh rule, a signal. From here, everything gets lighter. Warmer lights, lower sound. Your phone a little farther away. Read something slightly boring if you want, because the goal isn't entertainment. The goal is telling your body, night is coming. At first you'll feel empty, but that emptiness is the doorway. It is also where a lot of healing lives, because you stop drowning yourself in noise long enough to feel what your body has been whispering all along. By this point, a pattern starts to show itself. You don't necessarily need more sleep. You need less of everything else at the wrong time. Less screen when your body needs real light. Less food when your body needs to be free. Less stimulation when your body needs a sunset. When you subtract in the right places, your body does the rest, quietly, without force. And the emotional shift is real. You stop feeling like you are broken. You start feeling like you were simply mistimed. Habit 4, move before the world moves you. If you open your eyes and immediately react, your whole day becomes a chain of coping. You haven't even stood up, but you're already late. And when a day begins like that, your body carries a low-grade tension for hours. This habit isn't asking you to train hard. It's asking you to enter your body before you enter your screen, because energy doesn't come only from rest. It comes from being awakened correctly. And when you never awaken correctly, you end up trying to wake yourself up with pressure, which is the most expensive fuel you can use. Gentle movement in the first 30 minutes is a powerful signal. We're awake. Blood moves. Temperature rises slightly. The nervous system shifts gears. You're giving your internal clock an arrow that points to day. That's why a short walk, a few minutes of stretching, or swaying to music can clear your head more than another cup of caffeine. It isn't motivation. It's biology. And there's an important side effect. When you lock the morning in correctly, the evening becomes easier to soften. The day starts feeling like something you are inside of, not something that is happening to you. The fourth trap is waiting for energy before you move. Energy doesn't arrive first, it arrives after. If you wait until you feel ready, you might wait forever. But when you do a small enough action, your body recognizes that today you're living, not just surviving. And that action doesn't require force. It requires consistency, because you're building rhythm, not achievement. You are teaching your body a simple message. We begin. We don't negotiate with existence. We enter it gently. Now step back and you can see the deeper system. These aren't 4 random tips. They're 4 signals. Light tells your body it's day. Earlier eating tells your body the night can be free. Slowing down tells your body the sunset has begun. Movement tells your body the day has started. You're not optimizing yourself. You're returning to a language your body understands. And that's why the sentences worth replaying are the ones you can live with. They don't ask you to remember more. They ask you to become slightly different. They give you a new identity to inhabit. Not someone who needs to be fixed, but someone who needs to be realigned. There are 2 ways to live with exhaustion. One is to pump more in, more caffeine, more discipline, more pressure. It creates sharp, fast energy, then drains you later. The other way is to subtract in the right places. Subtract when your body needs quiet. Subtract when your body needs darkness. Subtract when your body needs to be free. One path is force. The other path is resetting the clock. And your body will choose the clock every time. Even if your mind keeps insisting you should be able to power through. Here's the truth that should have been said to you earlier. You are not broken. You are out of rhythm. And the most painful part isn't being out of rhythm, it's believing it's your fault. Modern life trains you to lose rhythm with precision. You are not lazy, you are tired. And when you name it correctly, you stop attacking yourself for it. That is the moment healing begins, not because everything is solved, but because the war inside you finally stops. Don't try to do all 4 habits at once. Your body doesn't like being renovated. It likes small signals repeated consistently. If you pick one thing for tomorrow, pick 10 minutes of light before screens. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be clear. Do it 3 days in a row and you'll start to trust your body again. Not because you forced it, but because you finally spoke to it in its own language. And once trust returns, consistency becomes easier. Not because you became a better person, but because you stopped living against your biology. If you sleep enough and still wake up tired, the problem might never have been sleep. It might be the rhythm underneath sleep. When rhythm returns, energy arrives naturally, without begging, without self-punishment, without performance. And in the next video, I'll talk about the things that quietly steal the depth of your sleep, even when you're doing these 4 habits right. Subscribe isn't to follow me, it's to keep following yourself with a gentler pace. And the question that remains is this: what signal are you breaking every day without even noticing?